Have you ever stood still and truly listened? Not just with your ears, but with your whole being? You might notice how the smallest moments in nature can carry the greatest lessons of life. We search for wisdom in grand libraries and powerful speeches, but often it finds us in the quietest of places. It's a language spoken not in words, but in the persistence of a river and the silent, determined flight of a bird. It comes softly, a profound truth hidden in the delicate wings of a single sparrow. Today, I want to take you to one such place, a remote little village nestled in a sea of green, where life moves to the rhythm of the seasons. Here, surrounded by endless rice fields that shimmered like emeralds under the sun, a tiny drama unfolded. It was a story so small it could have been missed, yet it holds a truth so large it can change the way we see our own lives. It's a story that teaches us about the profound difference between intention and action, about the quiet power of self-reliance, and about the one true secret to achieving anything we truly desire in this life. It all begins with a single, determined heart. In that peaceful village, amidst the gentle sway of the rice stalks, lived a sparrow. She was small with soft brown feathers, but her spirit was a force of nature. She was an architect, guided by an ancient, unwavering instinct. Day after day she was a blur of motion, collecting straws, twigs, and blades of grass. Each piece was chosen with purpose, woven with incredible patience. Piece by piece, she wasn't just building a shelter, she was weaving a promise, her dream home for the eggs she would soon lay. And finally, the moment came. She laid her perfect, speckled eggs. With endless love, her world shrank to the size of that tiny nest as she sat on them, waiting. Her little heart was filled with hope. She became a living shield, enduring the sun, the rain, the long days, and even longer nights. Her own needs were forgotten. All that mattered was the precious life stirring within. And then, one golden morning, it happened. A faint tapping from within. The eggs began to crack. Tiny beaks broke through. Little fluffy chicks entered the world, impossibly fragile, yet bursting with life. From that day on, the mother sparrow's life changed completely. Her own existence became secondary. Her world revolved around the tiny, helpless lives that depended on her for everything. Every single day was a relentless cycle of duty. She would fly for miles across the vast rice fields, searching for food. Her wings were small, but her devotion made them mighty. Every grain she brought back was proof of her unconditional love, and the chorus of hungry chirps was the only reward she needed. But then, life threw a challenge. Peace is often a prelude to a test. One day, as she returned from foraging, she was met not with hungry cries, but with frantic, nervous chirps. The farmer had visited the fields. His voice, a distant rumble, was like thunder to their tiny hearts. They had overheard him saying that his children would soon come to harvest the rice. Fear filled the little ones. They were too small to fly. Where would they go? How could they escape? The mother sparrow listened calmly and reassured her chicks. "Don't be afraid. The field will remain untouched tomorrow." And sure enough, the next day passed and nobody came. The chicks were relieved. But peace is a temporary guest. A few days later, the farmer returned. This time, he said he would send laborers to harvest the rice. Once again, the nest erupted in panic. The threat felt more real, more imminent, and once again, their mother stayed calm, a pillar of quiet understanding in their storm of fear. She was teaching them a lesson they didn't yet understand. She simply said, "Don't worry, nothing will happen tomorrow either." And again, she was right. The laborers never arrived. Days turned into weeks, and the nest remained safe. The chicks grew stronger, their downy fluff giving way to proper feathers. They practiced flapping their wings, feeling the first hints of power. They were on the cusp of independence. Until one afternoon, something changed. The mother sparrow returned, and she could sense a different kind of fear. The farmer had been back, but this time his words were not about his children or hired workers. He had declared firmly, with the unshakable resolve of a man who would now rely only on himself, "Tomorrow I will harvest the rice myself." The moment the farmer's final words drifted up, "Tomorrow I will do it myself," a profound stillness fell over the mother sparrow. All the previous threats had been hollow, dependent on others. This was different. This was a promise a man makes to himself. Her face, once patient, now hardened with urgent purpose. She turned to her chicks, her voice low and firm. "We must leave this nest, not tomorrow but now, immediately. The time for waiting is over." The chicks, who had grown comfortable in their fragile home, chirped in confusion. "But mother, we have heard this before. Why is this time different? Why believe him now and not before?" And then, perched on the edge of their fragile home, came the lesson of a lifetime. The mother sparrow explained, her voice steady with ancient wisdom. Before, the farmer's plans were built on sand. He was outsourcing his own urgency. When he relied on his children or the laborers, his words were just wishes cast into the wind, dependent on people who had their own priorities. There was no guarantee, because the responsibility was scattered. She paused, letting the words sink in. But now, everything has changed. He has stopped waiting. He has decided to take responsibility himself. He has tied the outcome directly to his own actions. And when a person takes that responsibility into their own hands, the work is as good as done. His intention is now a sharpened blade, and tomorrow it will cut down this field. Under the cloak of twilight, they practiced. There were clumsy hops and nervous flutters, but with their mother's fierce encouragement, they found their strength. By the first light of dawn, as the farmer strode into the field with a scythe gleaming on his shoulder, he found only an empty nest. The sparrows were gone, soaring on wings that were once too weak. And here lies the beautiful irony. The farmer's procrastination, born of depending on others, became the very gift of time the sparrows needed to grow, to practice, and to survive. And from this simple story, a powerful truth emerges, one that echoes through our own lives. It's a truth about the dangerous comfort of waiting. Relying on others to build your future is a gamble. It often leads to delays, disappointment, and a graveyard of unfulfilled promises because no one will ever care about your dream as much as you do. But the moment you take charge of your own life, the moment you declare, "This is on me," the entire dynamic shifts. When you take radical ownership of your responsibilities, things get done. This story is not just about a sparrow or a farmer. It is a mirror. This is about you, about me, about all of us. How many brilliant ideas are gathering dust, waiting for a partner? How many personal goals to get fit, to learn a skill, to find peace have been pushed to next year? We tell ourselves, "I'll start when they help me," or "I'll begin when circumstances are perfect." We wait for a sign, for permission, for a savior. But the truth is simple. The world doesn't move until you do. The moment you stop waiting and decide to take responsibility, that's the moment your life truly begins to change. Self-reliance is not about isolation. It is the source of your power. It's knowing the buck stops with you. Independence is the confidence that grows from that power. And responsibility, that is the active daily work of building the bridge between your dreams and your reality, plank by plank. So my friends, remember the sparrow's lesson. Stop waiting for someone else to plant your seeds, to water your garden, or to build your nest. The farmer you're waiting for is you. Take charge, pick up your own tools, do it yourself, and learn to trust in the strength of your own wings, even if they feel weak at first. Because if a tiny sparrow with nothing but instinct could grasp this law of nature to save her family, imagine what we can achieve. We, with our intellect and our resources, have limitless potential. And that's the fuel for winners today. Stop waiting. Start doing. Take absolute responsibility for the life you want. Build your future with your own hands, and never underestimate the incredible strength that awakens the moment you decide to rely on yourself. If this story resonated with you, if it sparked something inside you, then empower others by hitting that like button and sharing it with someone who needs this reminder. And to continue fueling your journey, don't forget to subscribe to Fuel for Winners, your daily source of motivation, wisdom, and unstoppable drive. Until next time, keep winning.